Okay folks, here's the deal. This is a 97 Grand Am SE 4-door, 6-cylinder. I'm doing a brake job on it. Here's the dilly. This is the new rotor. Let me turn the light on. It might help a little bit. Okay, that's the new rotor. Look how shiny that thing is. That's brand spanking new. I only paid like 20 bucks. You can see my fingerprints on it. See that? You don't want to be touching that like that. Anyway, it's not bad for like 20 bucks a piece, I think it was. Roughly. Maybe not even. I think it was only like 18 bucks a piece. This is in Boston. Anyway, so I changed that. Look at the old one. This thing is in hideous condition. This is what it looked like. Look at those grooves on the side, gashed up everywhere. So I ripped the rotor off. A lot of people like to leave the old rotors on. I prefer to change it every time. It's just my style. I like new stuff, because if you don't change the rotor, it's not going to work as well. And then the next day, you're going to be driving down the street saying, "Why does it don't feel right?" So basically, there's the caliper. You can see that I've already compressed it with the old brake pads. Very simple, folks. You just take the old pads out. Very easy. They pop right out. You might have to work it a little to get the caliper off. There's 2 bolts in the back of the caliper. Very simple. There's no need for me to be showing you everything, because if you can't figure that out, then you ain't gonna be able to do it anyways. That caliper rests on that rotor. The rotor slides right out. There's 2 bolts on the back of that caliper. You simply loosen them up and then pry that caliper off of the rotor with either a screwdriver, flathead, or a tire iron or a pry bar of some sort. It should come right off. You might have to work it a bit, but if you're changing your brakes, it's probably going to be a little loose anyway. Once you get that off, you use this C-clamp, which is right here. You compress. You compress the caliper there right in. I always take the cap off of the brake fluid. As you can see, it's resting beside the reservoir there. I don't know why I do that, but I do it anyway. I think you're supposed to. I'm not a mechanic, as you can tell by the way I'm talking, but any idiot can change brakes. If you go to a mechanic, you're just screwing yourself, okay? Because they're going to charge you $500, you know, 2, 3, 4, 500, whatever it might be, 600, 700, who knows? I once paid $666 for brakes on a van. So I simply just bought new rotors and new pads for $60. $20 for the pads that had a limited lifetime, and I believe they were Duralast or something. And yeah, Duralast, here they are. 20 bucks, $19.99. And Value Craft brand new rotors, which you can see are nice and glossy. So then you put the pads back in the caliper very simply. Put the caliper back in the location it belongs. Right on top of that, obviously you want to put the e-brake on and use jack stands. I got jack stands on both sides. And then just do that same process when you're reinstalling it. It's one of the easiest jobs on a vehicle. That caliper goes right on top of that rotor. And then you snug it up when you put the tire on and tighten the lugs. Okay? You want to jack the car up. Tighten those lugs up nice. Put some brake grease along the new pads. There's the new pads. Check it out. Brand new pad. Brand new pad there. That's the new. That's the old. Okay? You can tell it wasn't as worn as I expected it to be, but it was definitely malfunctioning, and it's less than half the size of the new one. Anyways, folks, that is how you do a brake job. Obviously, the way I like to do it is I like to jack up both sides. You can see that I got this side jacked up as well on jack stands. Okay, this is Johnny, the real Johnny. I am out. I will return with the future update. Go to my page if you want to see any other repairs for idiots. Thank you. So, when you put the caliper back on, it should look like this. Should be seated in there properly. The pad should be covering the whole rotor. You know, there should be no pad hanging off the rotor. The whole pad should be on top of the rotor. And as long as the bolts that you screw in on the back of the caliper or the front, whichever way your caliper is designed, some of them even only have one bolt or three. As long as you line the nuts, the bolts in the holes, and they go in the hole properly, then you're all set. Otherwise it wouldn't work. So that's the brake job. Then you pump the brakes, make sure the brake fluid is full, put the tire back on, you're ready to go. So that is what the caliper should look like for all you screw heads, with a nice shiny rotor for all you idiots who think you don't have to change them.